having to do it, but because she can't do it by Zoom. She can be a part.
That's good that she said that, you know,
700 emails. I just checked my email yesterday. This don't make no sense. Nobody should get 700 emails in 24 hours. I am not that important. Really? But he was sending me a link. Okay. So looks like I gotta create the Zoom link. He sent me the login information. I'm looking for the link. Oh, breakdown in communication. Just a little bit.
Isn't that fun all the time?
Yes, because I'm looking through the email for a Zoom link. Thankfully, I got Zoom on here. We gotta unplug that thing so I get some power over here.
So are you gonna be able to get Susan?
Yeah, but she can't do the. Yeah, I know where the outlet is. We did that yesterday. And we
So
didn't.
I
look at
wonder
that.
if I should go ahead and have somebody pray.
Yes. You can pray.
Oh, I like that. After a while, like the only thing Democrats want to drill. Okay, so somewhere or another, Susan asked me to kind of, get our meeting started while they're trying to plug her in, so she would be coming in on Zoom. And I asked Tom if he would lead us in prayer, so, we're gonna start out with prayer.
Father, we come together here to do your will. We hope that we can get ourselves organized and together, come out with the results that you would like. We appreciate that you got us all here safely. And watch over us as we certainly need your help. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
Amen.
So you're the one who does the minutes, right?
I do the minutes.
Okay, so we have a minute. So Susan asked me to just kind of get us started, and, so, as I have no agenda, and I found out
Hey,
a
guys,
minute ago
one thing
that I was
outside.
gonna do this,
Terry,
we're very
Terry,
disorganized, but
Terry,
she asked me
Hey, here,
to,
y'all go outside. Are we talking?
well, y'all was talking during prayer. Well, that's okay, it's okay. But anyway, so, she just wanted everybody to kind of chime in, and the two things she mentioned to me is try to keep get our party chairs more organized and more involved, and to find out, to discuss the trainings that's going on, I guess for the voting that's coming up. There's a lot of them going on, I know, and just kind of discuss that. So it's just kind of open discussion. Meanwhile, we're gonna try to get Susan up on the screen, and she'll take over when she's up on the
I
screen.
just sent her the invite. I'm gonna go get
But
some
anyway,
power.
we're just trying to be able to work before she comes up. So, with that in mind, does anybody have anything they want that they want to discuss?
We're trying
Hey,
to,
we got a hand up.
I just want to apologize.
Oh, we're sorry.
I thought everybody was just chit-chatting, and I didn't realize that we were in the midst of a meeting.
Well, that happens, we
you're
understand.
forgiven.
Thank you for the apology.
Well, I have
And you're
two
forgiven.
things. I have two things I'd like to talk about.
Oh, okay. So you
Number
got a
one,
second.
what happened to our project of going on the exclusive content and reorganizing everything? I can help with that.
Okay, good, give a report.
So we did that, gosh, it's been months ago, and we got on Zoom calls with RPT, specifically with Jen and Madison and whatever, and we went through it. Marion was on there, thank God for Marion. She knows all this stuff. A lot of that stuff's outdated. It needs to be archived, it needs to be deleted, it needs to be, there are videos on there from 2016, you know, that are just, they need everything, and we went through line by line, everything on exclusive content that needs to be changed. And it's all still there. And so, here's what the problem is. We can't change it. It's gotta be done by staff at RPT. Staff has other priorities right now, and they are drowning.
Yeah.
And there's just not enough of them with enough, they don't have enough bandwidth to
Right.
get on there and take care of this problem. And as volunteers, we just can't do it. I mean, it's not, we can't touch that. They've got to go on and make sure. So that's what the problem is Jen just is not,
I get it.
yeah.
Get it. Well, for my counties, for my newly redistricted counties, I have 5 new counties coming into SD 24. And so I hosted a lunch in Kerrville, and for the southern portion of my
Have her
district.
click on the link I sent her.
Had 7 county chairs show up. I included the TFRW president
Waiting on her.
of Kerr County, which we were hosting there, and also invited some of the county chairs to bring their secretaries. And we had a 3-hour lunch. I was up and down that exclusive content page trying to find updated convention materials. I ended up just copying stuff, scanning it. James Dickey, that Road to
Did you click
Convention,
on the
that
one where
thing
I
he
sent you the
did,
link?
that is excellent information. I just went in
just
there and I
sent you
just
another
changed
link
dates
after the one you had.
and gave those packets with the one-pagers, with the
Well, I don't
forms.
know how it
Where they're
works.
gonna have
I sent
to
it
fill them out on
directly
the
from Brandon
computer,
as
but
well.
I did give them a hard copy, made a big packet. One of my new
So,
county chairs
yeah, so
in
that would've been the
Sutton
one I
County
sent for the
has
meeting.
never had
That's here.
a precinct or a county convention
No, bless her heart.
in the history of that
So,
county.
and I'm the only one that sees.
And so we're working, even if they're just 2 people. But,
So,
I
you
put that
fast forward.
convention packet because, they all have a little bit of angst. I have brand new
Let me,
county chairs in all
Let me
but
send you another
one
push
of my counties. And so, they feel pretty good about getting past the primary, but they're very anxious about the convention. So we tried, we had a retiring county chair, John
Are
Elliott
you
of
in the
Kerr
party
County.
organization one?
They met each other, they talked about, I had them share a success. I had them share
So you're
something
in
that's
that one. So let
kind
me,
of
let me go to that one.
a hiccup type situation, that they could get advice from the other county chairs sitting around that table. So my goal was to have them get to know each other, make relationships. Of course, we're rural counties,
So you
it's
see-
all about
you are here.
relationships. It's about keeping our counties red
Okay.
and giving confidence to these new county chairs that they can do it, as well as introducing them. Some have had a hands-off relationship with TFRW clubs. We've got to get past that.
I don't know why.
And so that
they're showing
meeting
us all
was
in there,
for
so-
the
in
TFRW
this
president
one.
to share what their clubs are doing, so that the county chairs can see, those women are their friends.
Hang on, let me try.
And
this.
they need to network and start working together. And so
Let me start party order.
that's what I've done to try to get my county chairs ready for
Give me
convention.
just a second.
But I spent a lot of time on that exclusive content,
There's
trying to
a
find
lot
the
of
right
junk on there.
information.
There's a lot of junk on there that needs to be
Can you hear now,
archived
Susan?
and gotten off, because it's just,
Okay.
you're wading through it.
Yes.
But we have addressed that, but we've done all that this committee can
Okay.
do.
Okay, you're on speaker now.
So,
Terry,
Yes.
you wanna speak?
I was just gonna say on that subject, last convention, Mark Barazio put out a publication on precinct chairs, convention,
I'm trying to
county,
figure out how to fix that.
SD, and the state convention.
Oh,
And
that was you. for the
Can
phone.
she hear?
it's excellent.
You can hear
Can
Susan?
you send that to me?
Well, I can't, but do you know Karen Marshall? His, I guess, chief of staff, more than likely, she will be here this
Oh,
weekend.
okay.
And you can purchase it now on, one of the book
Oh,
things.
Amazon?
Uh,
It is excellent.
it's an excellent book, and
Okay,
he
Susan, say
gave me
something.
permission, I have made copies of it and given it to my new chairs, because it is step by step
that's-
with all the farms. The only thing that's changed is the
Date,
dates.
we can change it.
We can change that.
Well, I'd love to know how to
It-
do
All
that.
right,
It's
say
just an
something again.
FYI for any new people that
And
want.
what was her name? Karen?
Karen Marshall.
Okay.
You should be coming to on the speakers. Say something one more time.
That's what I was fixing to do. Good morning.
Why is it not on there on the speakers? But no,
I'm sorry?
connected to the speakers. but the
You know,
sound
normally
is
I
not
have one
coming
with
through.
me and I didn't bring one. But he put a lot of money into that
Yeah,
and
he did.
he printed hundreds and
Hang on,
hundreds and
Susan.
hundreds of them.
Everybody.
And I got about 20 of them given them
Don't worry about that. Susan?
Hey, Tim.
Test, test. Susan? Susan, can you hear that?
I can hear you.
Okay. So when you guys are talking, just use that so she can hear you.
Okay.
You can see her.
Can you broadcast her laptop onto that too, so y'all can hear?
What do you mean? Well, that's what I was trying to do, but it's not doing it for whatever reason.
Yeah, but you could use the mic next.
Yeah, for being able to hear her.
Okay.
You can hear her too.
Mary Jane?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so are your county chairmen, do they work with TRCCA?
I encourage that. Some do, some don't, but I encourage it. I encourage their membership in TRCCA. I also give them David Luther's information, all the contact information, and just I encourage them to reach out because they're another friend that they can help them.
I'm gonna listen through Wednesday.
Okay. Did you send them the information that Jen provided from the TRCCA meeting on convention?
She just sent that out recently. didn't she?
Is from the exclusive content, or is it on the TRCCA?
Um,
Oh, that was Monday night.
Monday night.
Yes, I have that.
So you sent it out to your
Yes.
committee chairs?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Okay, Susan says she'll be here, able to hear, so when you're talking, I'm going to walk around and stick this phone by you.
Oh, it's not through the mic?
I think we need to use the mic also.
We need to use, oh,
I think we need the mic for everybody that's in
Well, I
the room.
put the mic on there for her voice to come through over there.
Well, she says she can't hear, she can hear better on my phone. So she's gonna listen, is it gonna squeak?
well, okay, now that you're here, Susan, do you want to, you've got something to report, and we'd like to hear it.
Can you hear me better this way or through the feed?
I don't know. You only tried through the phone so far.
Hi, everybody. My apologies for not being down there. We are on a mission to fill all of our spots up here in Dallas County with Republicans in our polling places. And, we have some vacancies that's not need for the elections department to deal with Democrats. So it's killing me not to be down there with y'all. And I can only apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt, what y'all were talking about. I couldn't hear what was going on very well. So, if Gwen can take up and resume.
Well, we did the prayers and several people have spoken. Maybe we can go around and give you a little summary of what they said. So we started off over here. We're gonna let her do a little summary of what she said.
No, we started with Becky Green.
Oh, it's Becky's turn? Oh, okay, we're going to Becky.
I'll listen.
Okay. And I'm gonna be standing with the phone.
Hey, Susan. we were talking about where we were with updating exclusive content. And, because Mary Jane was trying to get on exclusive content and wade through the muck. And, I said that we had gone through exclusive content, but we as a committee are not able to get on there and actually do any of the work. It has to be done by RPT staffers. And so we had gone through all that, but RPT staffers are very busy, and we've taken a back burner to what's going on with the primary and other things. So it hasn't been done yet, even though we have gone on and asked line by line for this to be changed, that to be changed in a very detailed way. It just hasn't been done because they don't have enough people to do it, and they're doing other more urgent things right now.
Yes, absolutely. Everyone cares on our deal with that. So, and thank you, Becky, you did a yeoman's work with regard to that as well. We spent several hours updating that exclusive content folder, and so I understand that we really have to pay attention to the immediate emergency items that we're all having to deal with. So.
Okay, and I think somebody else wanted to speak. Did someone else?
Well, Mary Jane,
Okay, now we're back. Okay, now we're going back to Mary Jane.
sort of give her a synopsis.
Hi, Susan. I was just mentioning that I pulled together luncheons with 5 to 7 of my county chairs and prepared convention, precinct, county, state convention materials and put in a packet for all of them. Several of them, this will be their first opportunity that they've had to conduct conventions, and just trying to get them to network and develop relationships with each other, and then also gave them a list of other people that can help them, like the TRCCA and Jen, and of course their neighboring county chairs. And TFRW, of course, absolutely. Actually, we had TFRW members at that lunch for them to share what they're doing in their clubs and how they can be, especially for these conventions, a big help.
I totally agree. Thank you, Mary Jane. That's fantastic. Fantastic. It's our fanning out and reaching everyone that is critical.
Okay, did anybody else have anything they want to add at this point or discuss?
Can I just interject?
Yes.
I just want to let you know, we are on fire up here in Dallas County to take back our upper level county election officials, county judge, our DA, our county treasurer. We have a great slate of candidates, and we're organizing our Senate district conventions and precinct conventions as well. And it's really helped. We have added a very detailed steps to recruiting election judges and early voting up here. I don't know how other people are, like in Travis and Harris counties, they do not give detailed information as to how to go through the process of becoming an early voting judge and clerk. And we're having a joint primary up here, and it's critical that we've never been allowed to participate in early voting up here because of the fact that we've had one token alternate judge in all of the early voting locations, strictly because the Democrats have been running Dallas County for way too long. So since we're having a joint primary, we have the capacity to have an entire crew of election co-judges. We call them up here in Dallas County co-judges with clerks that match the party equally on either side. And there's none of this calling out, if you're a Republican, come over here, if you're a Democrat,
Okay, Susan, do you want to hear from someone else, or where do you want to go next? Oh, wait.
Absolutely.
Tom has something.
Go ahead.
Hey Susan,
Okay.
so just to give you a view of Harris County, we have 375 election day locations. We have 90 early voting locations. So we have 375 locations for the Republicans and 375 for the Democrats. I'm not certain I don't think they're all joint locations, but quite a few are.
Are you having a joint primary in Harris County?
I don't think, well, they're not, I don't think it's a joint primary. I certainly hope not. I think they're separate, but they may be jointly located, so that there may be separate machines for each. But I have no certainty of that. I'm not in charge of overseeing any of that. I'm just another helpful hand. I've been identified about 6 election judges in the last week. The county party is slow in getting back to people that have volunteered. They're now also dealing with trying to get all of the precinct chairs that have refiled or those that have just signed up into the system. And so they're dealing with that as well, and that's got a deadline of Saturday. Whereas their election judge assignments, they have, she said she's got almost up till the election day itself, which I think is rather bad, that you'd wait that long to assign judges. They're doing in-person training in Harris County. This time it's 4-hour training for judges. And what we're down to is you get an election judge, an AJ, and 3 clerks. And the election judge basically has to go find their own clerks. That's our process that's going on now, so I'll pass it on.
Great, that's good to know. The Secretary of State is leaning on our county elections departments to implement a joint primary system. It's really instead of being in one gymnasium and having 2 separate VS 200s and 2 separate teams of tables on either sides of the gym, we're having one check-in, so we have less equipment to tote around, and the next voter goes to the next clerk, regardless of party affiliation. Nobody has to say, hey, I'm a Democrat. They just go to the next clerk, and then they turn the e-poll book around to the voter, and then the voter's allowed to choose their party affiliation at that time. So it's really no different than what we do in November in the general. So we're just implementing it this time up here in Dallas County. So it's a learning process. This is the first time we've ever done that. It's kind of in an experimental phase right now. So we're hoping it will work out. But the Democrats up here think they own the election systems up here. So the co-judge, the 2 co-judges, they each have equal authority. And if there's a problem with a voter, then they go to their own party judge. At that time, they have to say which judge they want to handle their problem. So you might have to tell everybody which party affiliation you have chosen at that time, but we have been blocked out of the process of assigning our own judges for early voting quite a bit, and it makes it hard. So we're learning how to go around that, like as in they said they will contact who they contacted, what kind of feedback, if they're available or if they're not available. And so they delay the process. And until I got in here and really got up close and personal with it, I didn't realize that. So we're not going to allow them to go around this anymore going forward. So as soon as the March first primaries are finished, we'll reevaluate and fix what we discovered through working very closely with the elections department.
Tom has something else he wanted to add.
Yeah, they're doing joint, it's a joint primary for early voting, and I think because it's a Democratic county generally, I think the judges are generally Democrats for early voting. I think that's how it's,
That's how it's been up here too, Tom. So, since we're going to the co-judge, there's no one dominant judge anymore. But they're still trying to act like they are still dominant.
Okay, does anybody else have anything that they want to bring up? I don't see any hands, Susan.
The training that we're trying to implement in all across the state, are we having any feedback from the TRCCA with regard to the training in every county?
Training, anybody have any comments on training?
Is Dave Covey in the meeting?
No, he's actually not here, and we have my old buddy Chris, taking his place.
Oh, okay, great.
He's here, but he doesn't have anything to say, or does he?
No, I didn't get any notes from them.
Which is unusual. Wait a minute, we have Tom again.
So, you know, TRCCA has, with RPT, does their monthly, end of the last Monday, sessions. And I've been on a couple of them, most recent, unfortunately, I haven't been able to make a lot of them because of other commitments. But I've gotten the materials from Jen on those. And the last couple have been talking about conventions and precinct conventions and other things. And they've been good, and they're sort of like doing their own thing with that. Question, I guess, is does the content from those TRCCA events fall into exclusive content or our
Yes,
purview?
from the webinar,
Mm-hmm.
they're already up in exclusive content.
Okay, so that's being done, so that's a help. But we just need to try and oversee the organization, how that works out, I think.
Right. We've stolen some Harris County training sessions and put them on our website up here. But it really helps to have training sessions that are able to be downloaded in all areas of the county that we can share with. I think we always have, but if they're not back up exposing them for their ideologies, if nothing else.
So are you putting that on the your actual Republican website?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that
Yes,
Dallas
ma'am.
County's
We
website?
want to expose their liberal
And it's limited to Dallas County
ideologies.
precinct, Jerry.
And we document their voting history, and if we have it, and we
So-
tell them.
Is that content only for the precinct chairs or for the
No,
general?
that's public, that's public. That is, well, for the school boards, and the city council, we're putting that kind of, information on there. We've just been, at this exact moment in time, we don't have the candidate directory finished for the school boards and city councils in the Dallas County area. As far as their profiles and their contact information, all we're doing is telling everybody that this is coming up, and we need to be looking for candidates to run against these liberals and implementing critical race theory, and what's the other, socio, SEL, I forgot what it, social emotional learning, that they're indoctrinating our kids with. So,
Race theory, CRT.
we want to expose them to help get these liberals off of our school boards. So we will be doing that.
Okay, Susan, Rhonda Lacey just joined us and she said that you had her, ready to speak on for us.
Yes.
All right, well, we're gonna turn the mic over to her.
Okay, great. Thank you, Rhonda, for coming in and speaking to us.
Hey Susan, did you start working at 5 this morning?
Yes.
I know she did. We were on the phone a long time yesterday as I was driving, and it's so great to see all of y'all, and thanks for letting me interrupt a little bit. We've got a very exciting initiative going on, and it's called VEP, and we had that 2 years ago. It was the Volunteer Engagement Project. It stands for Voter Engagement. Pat, now. Yes, you need to. No. Okay, thanks.
We're doing party business.
I know, that's good. We're being silly here. Anyway, but this is it's a standalone group. Money's been raised for it. It's blessed by the party and TFRW and TRCCA and hopefully all of our other partnerships and coalitions as well. But we are coming together to raise up volunteers. We need them as quickly as possible so we can register these people to vote. The director of this, the executive director, is Rocky Gage. And Rocky's worked races and been chief of staff, for legislators and all this in the past. So he was tapped to do this. He's already sent out 500,000 texts. And he changed messaging, so it's very positive and people are opening it. And they were sent to the new movers and also the intrastate movers. People forget that they've got to register to vote again when they move across Texas. And so we need teams of callers. We'll be using, actually, we're going to use Red Dialer Advantage right now because so many people are familiar with that and having a little bit of trouble with Campaign Sidekick. But we're using that, and we're just going to be reminding these people and kind of sealing the deal. And so 2 years ago, our volunteer team registered another 213,000 new Republicans. We want to try to replicate that. And of course, then all those volunteers will then move into helping our candidates during the summer and then moving into strike force, putting teams together to go work in our 6 major blue cities. So it's a great opportunity to get everyone on board, get them involved right now. Yes, we are partnering all together with all of our Republicans. Debbie helped us last time. I know she's working on several other things this time, but y'all, Mary Jane is on this team, Gwen is on this team, and we've got regional directors, and so I will probably be sending something to all of the SREC right after the election, because I know we've got to get to March 1st. But we are beginning this week. We're going to start doing some training. The regional directors will be coming together. I've already got volunteers who want to jump on and just do these calls and hopefully have some fun initiatives and things for them to go ahead and continue to make calls for us and keep these call lists cleaned up. So, you know, I just wanted to mention all of this to you. I've got a little map that you can see the different regions, and it sounds crazy, some of these regions are just humongous, but people can handle all of their regions like that. So I'll pass this around, you can see, you know, who's on here as regional directors right now. And TFRW is always very involved in all of this, but we want everyone. We do want, like we were talking about pachyderms next door, we want all of those. And TRCCA's less this, they'll help, be helping with some training too. So I've got a sign up for anybody who wants to sign up right now. And let me pass this around. Susan, thank you so much for letting me interrupt your party board meeting here. So, and I think that's all.
So Susan, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Thank you, Rhonda, for coming and speaking to us. I apologize again, for the brevity of our meeting, and anyone else. I would like to get more involved with our team from CCA and sharing, that, training, any training that they have and any organization that they are, doing with the county chairs. We've got to do a better job, and I need to do a better job of reaching, and communicating with the, TRCCA. So, on the long-term planning, I had a conversation with, Sean Chapman, and, regarding the long-range, encouragement of our county chairman. I think they've just gotten a little complacent with their safe red districts. And I think the Democrats have a big target on our rural areas in order to get them to flip. And, so we just need to get a little bit more proactive with the county chairs and make sure that they, are drawing, as many people to the polls, and getting information about our candidates in a primary. As we all know, our primary candidates, there's a big difference between one Republican and another in a lot of instances. And we just have to, do a good job of getting, in all of them, from the smallest county to the largest county of ideological leanings of each candidate, so that we can make the best choice for the matches in our own ideology. And that being said, we have in a primary up here in Dallas, Debbie Bernice Johnson, who has finally, she's kind of, I think she must be Nancy Pelosi's friend, but she's been, the congresswoman in District 30 for 30 years. And, now that she has stepped down and announced her retirement, we have 6, candidates for vying Republicans vying for her spot. That being said, and Troy knows this probably, better than anybody, we have Democrats who have filed as Republicans, because I think they're beginning to see the handwriting on the wall, and they perceive that they cannot win unless they run as a Republican. So this is what I mean about, exposing ideologies of all of the candidates, and having forums, organizing forums and debates, which we had several up here in Dallas. So, I'd love some feedback on anything that you guys have been, helping your own county chairs to hold, candidate forums for the, candidates in every race down in your neck of the woods.
Okay, Tom wants to go first.
Okay.
Okay, I held a CD8 candidate forum in Harris County for those that, you know, CD8 came out of Montgomery County mostly, and they hadn't bothered to come down to Harris County till just this February. It was like a week ago Wednesday, we had the forum. One of the things that they all appreciated, the forum process that we did, it was open to all the candidates. We've got 11 candidates running for that seat, 11 Republican candidates. We had 6 that showed up at the forum, whereas there was another forum this last Monday that they had limited based on how much funds that they had raised, which is a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth. But the method of the forum, we had a moderator that had prearranged questions that he asked 2 of the candidates the same question, and they got to respond. Each of them had like 6, I'd say they were interrupter cards that said, you get 30 seconds to raise your comments on the issue, but you're limited to, you only have so many times that you can put one of those cards forward because you're limited to 6 cards or something. And then we went through that for several questions. Then they had an item where they had to do a yes/no responses just to see, and the opponents, or the person that basically gave an alternate view then got time to describe why they had an alternate view on their answers. Then we had a case where they had to write down answers and show the audience the answers. We had about, I would say, 60 to 70 people at this forum. And it was Deborah and myself that had organized it, and got it to come together. So that's what I can tell you.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Anybody else?
Well, I can just say one thing. I have Montgomery County in my district, and when they have something like that, they show up. I mean, there is a crew of them. They definitely want to hear. Okay, anybody else want to,
Becky.
oh, okay. Becky?
So I'm in Brazoria County personally, as well as having about 8 counties in my SD, newly redistricted. But we have, the county party was contacted by a gentleman, Dr. James Dunn Jr., who was previously unknown to us. We have a large number of Black conservatives in the county, but we've never been able to get them, despite our efforts, involved with the party. And so there's been a real disconnect there. We know them, we're friends with them, we count on them, but they don't get involved with the party per se. And so Dr. James Dunn contacted the county chair and said, I am the president of Black Republicans of Brazoria County. We had no idea there was such a group. They're a 501c3 that this man started, and he said, I am here to help you. What can I do to serve you? Now, we vet everybody. And so he goes to breakfast with the county chair, and we start looking into this guy. He's a hardcore Republican conservative. There is nothing in the least bit concerning that we can find in his background. He's a lifelong resident of the county. So he starts to get involved. He now has 300 members of his organization. He has done 2 big candidate forums in the county. In the least conservative part of the county that we have trouble reaching, the bluest part of our otherwise red county, this is where he's going. He's block walking. He has gone up into Harris County, because we border, this part of the county borders Harris County, gone up into Houston and served as a political consultant in 2 school board races where we won and beat out incumbent liberals. And he helped these people in Harris County get elected. That affects what's going on in Brazoria County. This guy is legit, and he's on fire. I want to clone him and send one of him to each and every county in the state of Texas. He's coming up, he's going to have some very big name people into the county to do a scholarship banquet for high school students. It names, these big name people include Ben Carson, Candace Owens, Professor Carol Swain, just the list goes on, Tim Scott. And people are calling this going, is this guy legit? I mean, he's selling out tickets at every event he hosts. So I'm trying to get him involved with the state party. And I'm trying to bring him, hopefully next meeting, to SREC with me, so that you guys can see him and latch on to whatever it is he's doing. Y'all, we just prayed for help, and he showed up on our doorstep. I don't know, I don't know what else to say about him, but I do want to give y'all a heads up. I'm going to be promoting this guy, because he is the real deal. His name is Dr. James Dunn Jr. And very humble servant of the Lord. You know James? He is legit. And I mean, who knew? He just started this 501c3, so they're not affiliated with the party, but we kind of like that because he comes alongside the party and helps us. And so, yeah, just wanted to tell you all about him. And I don't know that we want him to affiliate with the party. I mean, let's let him do his thing parallel to the party. But he's a great guy. I'd love to get some of his DNA spread around the state.
Well, until it becomes accepted that there are some black Republicans, they prefer to kind of stay under the radar in order to keep from having repercussions against themselves and their families. So I can certainly understand that mindset.
Okay, does anybody else have anything they want to add or comment? Any other comments? No one's raising their hand, Susan, so where are we going from here?
I would say maybe lunchtime. I appreciate you guys holding down the fort and coming together to participate in the meeting. And I'm once again, I'm just praying to get through this election, the March, and the primaries, and get down to the SD conventions all organized, and seeing you guys at I guess our next meeting will be the state convention, no?
I think so.
I don't think we're gonna have another, the second quarter, meeting until the convention, so we'll see you guys down there, but.
Well, before we adjourn real quick, Tom has another comment.
Well, the question, Susan, is, okay, where do we go from here? What do we need to get done before the next meeting? Do we have any marching orders?
I'd like to continue our Zoom meetings again on the first Monday of each month, and perhaps set a time that we can all come together and resume our meetings that we had started.
Mary Jane, what time what time did they come up with?
I thought they said 1 or 1:30, which is a
Okay,
hard time.
so that DEP is at 1:30 on every Monday. So don't make it at that time.
Yeah,
Okay, well, that's what we had said a year ago, so it's, or a year and a half ago, so times change, and we're certainly, why don't we kind of, set a time that we can all, that the most of us can attend. It doesn't have to be the first Monday. We can adjust that, that's not a problem. So let's try to maybe meet, after the primary elections and the SD conventions, perhaps
in.
Okay, so your VEP, is it every Monday or just the first Monday?
Every Monday.
Okay. So, how long does it last? Hard to say, huh?
Haven't had a first one yet.
Okay.
It started this Monday.
So how about making it the, block walking and other things? I would suggest, well, the question is, can we do it during the day? Or do we need to, do it in the evening? We got a view from folks here?
If you make it during the noon hour, then it'll be a lot easier for most people, on a weekday.
Yeah, an hour, that's.
Okay,
They like to do hours.
so why don't we make it noon,
Yeah, not Tuesday or Thursday.
okay,
Monday is fine.
Monday, make it. Yeah, make it noon on Monday, make it, I'd say the second Monday of the month. Because that gets us past the primary, past precinct convention. Send out a Zoom link. Yeah, before the SD convention.
In case there's something we need to cover.
Ask for a volunteer to help me collaborate on a report to be given at tomorrow's executive committee session, and to also get up and read it, report to the body.
We have a volunteer.
I didn't hear that.
She wants a volunteer to help her get her report ready to go to the body tomorrow and to get up and read it.
I'm not 18.
I second that.
We all nominated Tom, and he seemed willing to do it.
I have no problem with reading the report. I'm not sure about organizing the report.
Well, before you send it out to the entire body, like you normally do, I'd rather, have someone report on it tomorrow, Tom.
Yeah.
Why don't we, call each other, tonight, if you have any time tonight, I know you're up till 3 o'clock.
No, I do the other way around. I go to bed and wake up at 3 o'clock. So, okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll send you the report, okay? I'll let you, I'll send you the notes, meeting notes, and I'll let you organize it into a report and send it back to me. How about that?
That's wonderful. I'd rather, have your, collaboration and anybody else that, and we'll send it out to their committee
Right.
and, ask for any, thoughts or comments.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Thank you guys so much. Pray for me. I asked for your prayers, so we're gonna get through this stuff. Anyway,
If there's any other comments before we adjourn? No.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
And we have an adjournment in a second. So we're all, everybody that's approving, we adjourn.
don't have lunch.
All right, we're adjourning.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, Susan, and take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Well, I've never done one quite like that. Hang on.
Yeah, this is
This is another one?
Yeah, okay. Just have to have draws. So if it's not that, I should know.
Right. That's right.
This is getting bizarre.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Things that,
Well, he told me the last meeting, they called off against him.
Oh, yeah, if he didn't do anything, he didn't just do anything in that time.
Well, there's got the votes down.
Yeah.
So I understand you're under what you're saying, that's what we were.
25.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you about my mom. So, we were doing her side.
Oh, you saw it.
So, anyway, then he just.
but the minute you do the slightest thing,
Yeah, kept adding all these policies.
she wanted
Well, anyway, in the meantime, John.
So, the, John sent out a note.
All of a sudden, we're getting all this stuff for time. And it's locked.
Yeah.
It's locked. Legislators and. Well, it's locked already, we have that right now. And it is getting when, somebody's gonna get it, then we got that line here, someone's gonna charge us. No appraisal fee. No, that's what he was gonna charge us $1,000. All the closing costs. Yes. And so that was a lot better. Yeah. And so anyway, so I'm really tell stop. I didn't really tell him that, but I told him to hold up on his appraisal. Stop. Let it go, pal. So in the meantime,
And website.
Right.
And juxtaposing reviews, counterpart. Gubernatorial candidates.
so anyway,
That's all there. And it's time. So anyway, there are other fractions of the favor or against candidates. To the Facebook
I like you right now.
The most recent infraction is discovery of the air system. We're going to take that project. And you're allowed to buy ads, but it's what they have us just last year. It's trying to get some fair page, and who they are. Anyway. So, right, so she misrepresented you on the last by Jenny, 25 or whatever. Of course. It was not everybody has that. Like Jenna, she misrepresented. And people are actually,
Yeah, yeah, he sent an email saying about checking it.
More information.
Yeah, exactly. People calling side checks every second.
So anyway, they misrepresented us. He's a pretty even handed guy. He's a Reagan.
He called me that, he told me that they're saying that he's not.
So anyway, it's all just, well, then of course you have. Terry goes to the jail. I mean, I said, there's not a Democrat. But, the latest thing I saw. You guys got issues.
So I need to do one more thing. Should have gotten.
So the brothers don't understand why they want to pitch the intrigue.
But, so that's what I'm
I mean,
doing.
the primary. Hey, let's bring it. So you should have my, page. I got it. I saw it.
I got an email.
And that's what scares me, is she's got such a high standard. So she was saying the next meeting would be in March. And I'm like, yeah, but you're right. And you're right. So really, yeah.
Hey.
I think that.
We're on by.
And even this.
We did go.
I got it out of Harris County. So. But the final year that we had.
Oh, you are? Oh, well, you good?
No, I'm gonna let, I've got a photocopy something in there for this bitch she must have. So here's the what time is my next meeting? We're getting dental now. Yeah, we got 30 minutes. Can we? And I told him that you were happy to assist him, he's, you know, I guess because he's out here at night. And so he's good with it. I told him, I think he got my I think he can get more, he's secretary, I think he's. I love it. I love it. Did you print these out?
Oh, yeah. They hand them out in the library. Houston, people are a little bit reluctant to put it on there.
Oh, we put stuff on magnets and stick them in.
Well, that's exactly what I told them to do.
Yeah. We could buy a sheet magnet, like a roll of sheet magnet, you know, at Hobby Lobby. I would like some kind of salad.
I'm talking about right here.
You want to scan?
Okay, so. Yeah, so it's this whole part. You're so high tech. Is it lightweight? That's all it don't. Be a nice. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's what you need. That's what you Yes, it is. Hold on just a minute.
Yes, sir. Hello? Yeah. Well, my wife is here. I asked her. She's right here. Yeah, she's right here. She's right here. You were talking to her first. The party chair and make sure they don't leave. That's the thing to do with she's a precinct. We're in Austin right
Hello, this is Becky Green. I'm sorry about that. My husband is a manager, so I recall on my cell phone that he's with me. So So are you asking for a particular candidate or? Okay. Are you talking about SD 11 Senate District election? Okay, okay, all right. So, district clerk, well, let me just tell you, nobody on the Republican ballot is gonna be on any of those county positions. There are very few people that are going to disagree with your Republican principles. If you're a conservative Republican, if you're pro-life, if you're, pro-second amendment, all that sort of thing, the vast majority of our candidates are going to agree with that. Really, the question on those county races is who is the best qualified. So, on county clerk, any of the three of them are all conservative Republicans. I will tell you that the best qualified is probably Myers or Tigner. They have both worked in the county offices. They understand how it's run. Myers or Tigner, Cassandra Tigner. Okay, so either one of them is fine. There has been some controversy over Myers, Kayla Myers. I don't know if you've kept up with the Missouri County Clerk, or District Clerk. It's kind of been I don't want to call it a scandal. It was kind of a nothing burger that was sort of put out there, but it was about jury selection or jury tampering. And they're, yeah, well, Myers worked in that office under the previous clerk that sort of was forced to resign. But they did a big investigation and they came out with nothing. She's not been indicted, she wasn't doing anything wrong. Her methods were probably not the best methods, but they went statistical analyses and her methods were selected did not affect the jury selection. Okay? Right, and it was just a big